At that time in the 70s, the Way translation was a popular modern translation of the Bible, and it was my best friend's mom. She gave it to me, and I went off into the Navy and into boot camp. She goes, I want you to promise me you'll read the Gospel of John while you're in boot camp. I said, I can do that. I respected her greatly. Barbara, wonderful lady. Man, could she cook. And, yeah. Anyways, so I go and I read John. I want you to hear this. My vision of God before I began to read the Gospel of John is God is angry, he's distant. Oh, by the way, it only got reinforced when my dad walked out on my mom and I was the oldest of 5 kids. Seems like God's absentee a lot. Where's God in the storm? Perhaps some of you are wondering that. I tell you, he's always there. I can't explain every storm, but I know God is always there. And so I find myself in boot camp, going to make something out of my life, not going to stay in that town and just go the way where some of my friends had gone and they were already in trouble. And so I'm reading the Gospel of John, and all of a sudden that word, it begins to come alive. You see, I'm posturing myself to listen, to hear, to look with imagination. And all of a sudden, I'm reading things in John that I never heard sitting through Catholic Mass. And it's not that there weren't some of those words shared. I wasn't listening. But now I'm listening, I'm reading, I'm listening, and I'm imagining, and I'm seeing. But as many, John 1:12, but as many as received him, to them he gave the right, the authority to become the children of God. That's a word for somebody today. And all of a sudden, now that word, which has been active and alive for 2,000 years. That word begins to come alive in my heart. Did the soil of my heart, this is what I want you to hear. This is the point I'm trying to make. Did the soil of my heart change any? No. My heart was still wayward from God, still had rebellion, still anger. I had anger issues towards my dad. It took years later before I could finally forgive my dad of everything. And when I finally got set free, I got set free. But when I began to listen, the Word came alive, and the Word, and I'll unpack this more next week as well, the Word is powerful. It is life. It is life-giving. And the Word began to come alive in my heart, and the chains began to break. And all of a sudden now, Jesus, I begin to see him like I never saw or understood him before. God was no longer some distant, angry father. I realized he wanted to know me intimately as a son.